Welcome to today's live stream. I am in Cabo. Came here for a little entrepreneur group event, and honestly, it has been one of the most well-curated events I have ever been to. So thank you, Francis, for inviting me. And today we're going to talk about this epidemic virus that I see with so many people who are obsessed with having their content liked or saved. You guys, we need to talk about why this is not the thing that you need to focus on in order to get more sales. I have never met a person who, I don't know, you tell me what you think, but have you ever gone to a coach's like 3-step carousel and then saved the carousel and then thought, oh my God, I definitely need to hire this person and pay them a premium price? Like, I don't think that I have ever even gone back to my saves folder on Instagram to be like, that's the post that I'm gonna that carousel was really cute. That carousel, the 3 tips on the carousel really sold me. Like, what are we doing? And here we are. I see so many people here on social media just so discouraged by their content because they feel like my content's not getting shared, it's not getting eyes, it's not getting saved. Therefore, they feel discouraged. I don't get views, whatever. And then what happens is they just stop creating. And so what I want to talk about today is why all these metrics don't actually equal sales and what my clients are doing to create sales instead, because this is what we need to talk about, okay? So if you're joining live, say hello, where are you tuning in from? If you're watching the replay, say what's up. I want to give you a little shout out. By the way, I want to tell you guys that long form content is making a comeback in 2025. So if you guys are afraid of doing live streams or if you're afraid of writing too many long posts, I want you to know that people want to have more connection with you, and long form content is the way where they connect with you on a deeper level. Hi Greg, how are you? Okay, so first things first, I want you to know the content that is boring. We need to talk about what's boring because I know you guys put so much effort into your Canva posts, and this is for coaches who are really good at what they do. But what happens is they spend hours on Canva trying to come up with some reel, with some carousel, and they feel like they have to water down their wisdom. So here's the thing, you guys. If you're gonna do 3 tips to eliminate stress as a carousel or whatever, as a reel, this is just boring ass content. I'm just gonna tell you, just don't do it. If you're gonna do just so that you have like the checked box on the day that I posted today, I'd rather you not post content because that is going to impact your brand and people are not gonna see you as a premium coach. They're not gonna see you as a coach that they wanna hire, period. They're seeing you, as boring, number one. Instead of, let's say that you help people with their stress at work, maybe. Instead of saying 3 tips to eliminate stress, you can say 3 practices to come back to when your boss is driving you insane. That is way more interesting and way more fun and way more like worthy of stopping the scroll than if you are in this like 3 tips to eliminate stress. Come on, we can Google these things. We need to get more exciting in our lives. And unfortunately or fortunately, content is really elevating to the degree where I love that you get to have a personality. I love that you get to really show what's different about you, your humor. And so I want to give you permission to think about the 3 tips you were going to lay out. How can you make them more precise so that the successful person at their job that you want to help is actually gonna stop their scroll instead of being like, oh my God, it just doesn't even register in their brain because it's not designed for attention. And so you want to capture people's attention. You can still do the 3 tips, but the way you say it needs to be way more interesting. So that's thing number 1. A good hook is going to have people actually stop to see and to read your stuff. We cannot be boring, you guys. We need to be more interesting. So tip number 1, make it more precise, okay? But even then, the 3 tips is not the content that's going to convert clients, because what you do when you have a 3 tips account and you just keep on giving value, which is like the biggest lie. Give value, tips and value and this and that. Oh my God. What happens is you become a library, okay? So if you want to be a library, which totally so many Instagram accounts do, or so many Facebook accounts, whatever. If you want to be a library, definitely do the 3 tips. Definitely do the free content and the things like ChatGPT can create. What you're going to become is a free resource. And a free resource is not something that people go and buy from, because you're giving free stuff. So all you are doing, if you're giving 3 tips and all these things, like I would rather you shift it into, I would recommend that you shift it into conversion content. So instead of saying 3 tips to eliminate stress or 3 tips to attract clients, like you will never find on my feed any posts about 3 tips to attract clients. Like it's just not the content that converts. How do I make millions of dollars a year? And how do I get very low engagement? Well, because what I say is 3 mistakes that you're making on your last sales call that made your consult say, I need to think about it. Like 3 reasons why your last consult said, I need to think about it and how to fix it. Very different story. And then I get into what is actually happening and I deconstruct it through long form content. So what we want to do, instead of being a library of free shit, because you can Google it. If you want a lot of followers, great, but if you want clients, you need to think about a different metric. And the way that we want to create the content is shifting the perspective that people have about what do they think they need and what you recommend instead, which is literally what I'm doing right now. I get into my clients' minds and I'm like, hey, I know you're dealing with this. I know you think this is the solution. I know you think more likes, more saves, more comments. Here's what that does and here's what to do instead. Like I'm currently literally doing that. I am not giving you 3 tips in order to get more engagement. I mean, I could and I am. But what I want to offer you is a different mentality. The mentality that your metrics, your numbers, your followers don't pay the bills. They're not what creates clients, okay? So what does instead? This is what my clients are doing. My clients, like my client Bree, literally, she is in the spiritual niche and she made in 1 month, just in January, what she was gonna make what she projected to make in all of the first 3 months of the year. Thank you. Thank you for the shades. Yes, she made it in 1 month. So what did she do? By the way, she has low engagement on social media. She charges $5,000 for a program that she used to charge like a sliding scale, like $100 a session or $80, whatever you can give me. She came from that mentality. Now she sells a 5-figure offer consistently as someone who is in the spiritual, like she helps you connect with your guides. And she's charging $5,000. When we started working together, I was like, we need to come up with an offer and we need to find the price that's right for you. And that's what came through for her. How is she making these sales with low engagement? How is she? She doesn't get a whole lot of engagement. She is really becoming much better at creating content that's not like fluffy and esoteric, because that's like her natural thing. Now we're doing way more like things that have humor, that people can relate to, that are like making people laugh. But that's not where her clients came from. Her clients came from the people that she already knew, that were already in her world, and the way that she started communicating the value of her offer. The way people started listening. People now know she has conversations with people that she meets all the time. And we worked on, okay, how are you going to say what you do to a stranger that's going to make them want to be like, ooh, that's what I want. And that's what I help my clients do inside of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, regardless of how experienced they are. Meaning, it doesn't matter if you've been in the industry for 20 years, for 25 years, for 5 years. If you are not getting enough people telling you, hey, I want to work with you, your messaging needs an upgrade. You need to be more clear and precise in the way that you say it. So for me, I help coaches clarify their message to attract premium clients. It's very simple. People know who I am and what I do. So when Bree was meeting people and we elevated the way that she talked about her offer, people started saying, wait, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. And then what happened is people started booking calls and she had discovery calls left, right, and center. But here's what she really did, because the calls didn't just convert and like it was happy dancing and everyone just wanted to throw her credit card at her. Like it was not like that. People have thoughts about money. People have objections about this. Just like when you buy a $97 offer and you're like, is this gonna really work for me? People have the same objections when you sell a $5,000 offer or a $10,000 offer. Is this gonna work for me? So these were the things, and especially when you have someone who booked a call and then they're like, their limiting beliefs like show up, their fears about buying, what happens is they might want to cancel the consult, which happens all the time. So what creates a sales for her is not the content that she's creating. She's not relying on saves and engagement. She's relying on the conviction that she has in her ability to navigate when people want to cancel the consult because they chickened out, which will happen. Like, I'm bringing the real situations to you guys. This is what happens. Sometimes people book the consult and then don't show up. Sometimes they have fears. But what I teach my clients is how to navigate all of those circumstances so that they can naturally have a conversation with the person that booked the call and really tell them the truth about what they see from a loving place. And so her version that used to be not convicted would be like, okay, you chickened out. It's okay. No pressure. If you don't want to talk about it, don't worry. Instead, she challenged the person and she invited them to receive some coaching that she was seeing. Even after filling the application, the person wanted to cancel the call. And then what she did is she navigated it with so much curiosity, which is what the feeling that we have been working on developing, curiosity, and just being really honest about what she sees. Because talking about money when it comes to money objections can be really scary. And so she's worked through all her money beliefs, all the things that happen inside of her when it comes to saying, I charge $5,000. And we've worked on that. And now she called, instead of letting the person chicken out, she invited them to a call where they talked about the fears. And then by the end of the call, the person wanted to buy, even though she almost had chickened out about like showing up even just for the consult. So what made the sale? The sale was not made because of a cute carousel and 3 tips to get more clarity on your purpose. That's not the content that's sold. That's not when the sale happened. The sales happen when you are willing to show up, communicate your message very clearly, and tell the person on the other side, whether it's on a live stream, whether it's on a consult, wherever it is, what the truth is about what you see. And that version of you that is convicted, that is clear, that doesn't let the fears shake them away from their power, that version of you is the one that is always making sales, that can experience a money objection coming in from a person and doesn't let it, doesn't rock your emotional world. That's how people feel safe buying from you, because they're willing to be vulnerable. You are a safe space for their vulnerability. Let's say that you don't even do sales calls. Let's say that you sell a course. Will you show up on a live stream and you can talk about these fears that people have about whether it's going to work for me, whether it's not going to work for me, all of that, and you're willing to address the elephant in the room instead of trying to hide behind 3 tips and 3 carousels. Come on. That's not what you're buying. That's not what makes you want to buy premium or not premium from anyone. Yes, there is something about getting more eyes and content that's more for audience growth, but it's not the content that's going to convert to clients. What is going to convert to clients is the way that you communicate what you do in a super clear, potent, powerful way. And that is exactly what we do inside of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. We remove all the complexities around what is the crazy trend and content, like all of that, we simplify it so that you're always saying the thing that makes people want to come to you. And then I teach you how to really get rooted in yourself so that you believe in your offer, you believe in your client, and you believe in your ability to be the person to support the client, even if they have fears around money, because we all do, they all do. It's not a problem. Like, we need to let fears be okay instead of trying to be like, oh my God, they have an objection and now I can't push them, or I'm scared to say something because I don't want to be pushy, which is the thing that everyone talks about. So that's just one thing that I want to invite you guys to do. And before I forget, I want to let you know that right now, we are on the early bird period of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. So what that means is that when you apply now, you can save $3,000 and join for as little as like $1,500, depending on when you apply. So right now, if you want to have my eyes on your message and help you articulate what you do, whether it's your new offer or an offer that maybe you feel like stop selling, but that is really amazing, I'll help you clarify your message. I'll help you elevate your offer. I'll help you elevate the quality of clients that you attract so that you're attracting people who want to pay premium, but it's not because it's a different audience. It's because of the way you're showing up. You show up in a way that premium clients want to buy from. That's what I teach you how to do. And of course, I teach you how to handle the sales conversations, because the sales conversations can be the most delicious thing you ever do in your entire life. But when you have learned a process that feels very masculine and that feels not delicious, it's not gonna feel delicious for you to sell. So it's from the last marketing mastermind that you will ever need, because we go from A to Z. How to attract premium clients, what you need to say, what your offer looks like, your content distribution strategy, your pre-qualification of the whole thing. And then we look at what part of it is the most important thing for you. And at the core, what we do on our calls every single Thursday, because you have 2 calls, one with me on copy coaching, so I help you with your content, but what we do on the second call of the day, so you see me literally 24 times, we have 24 calls, you guys. It's me personally. And I go into the depths of your heart, into the depths of all the limited beliefs that you might have around why you can charge premium or why you can't sell more of what you want. I had one person who came to my 5-day challenge, and on the first day, I just coached on conviction, and she felt so convicted that she signed a $10,000 client just after that. So imagine having me in your corner every single week for 12 weeks straight to elevate your conviction so that people feel magnetized to you because of the way that you show up and you talk about your offer. That's exactly what we do inside the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. So I have a flight to catch. I wanted to let you guys know that that's open for enrollment right now, and that the tips are not tipping. Quit with the tips and start shifting beliefs. Show up and say, hey, I know this is the thing that you want. I know this is the thing that you think you need, but here's why that actually doesn't work, and here's what you want to do instead. And let that content be the content that shifts the perspective that people have about why they should buy from you, instead of saving more random tips, which is not what sells, you guys. You will literally never find in my account anything that slightly resembles 3 tips to get clients. It's just not the content that sells. But how am I making multiple millions of dollars a year? Because of the content that I just taught you. That's the content that we master inside of the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, so that you don't waste time with things that just keep you busy but are not attracting clients. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go catch my flight. I love you all so much. If you have questions about it, send me a message. If you want to know what the financing options are, we have an amazing financing option that you can spread it out for 36 months. So your payment plans are less than $500. It's so easy. Then we also have a pay in full bonus. If you pay in full, you get a one-on-one call with me so that we can do all of this together. In 1 hour, I can help you with 6 months worth of work. That's how effective it is. I just get to the root quickly. So if you pay in full, you get that. If you want to finance it for longer than the 7-month payment plan, we can talk about that. So send me a message and you fill out the application, or send me a message before, whatever you want. If you have a question right now, send me a message. Now we can talk about it, and then I'll tell you if it's the right fit for you, or just fill the application and then I'll give you the instructions. If you're I know that I want to be part of this and I don't want to miss out on the early bird, then I want to invite you to apply, because it's ending by the end of this week, okay? All right, my darlings, I am gonna go catch my flight. I love you all, and I will see you next week. Bye.